Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Welcome to Final Guys, where tonight, along with our round-robin discussion on what we watched this week, we're getting out our Frankenberry and our Booberry, our Count Chocula, pouring a glass of OJ and maybe some prune juice for Hunter, and sharing our thoughts on the indie short film Milk and Cereal. So, as always, tonight we have Jason No Boobs Brandt.
I didn't know what to name myself, so this movie did not have boobs. So there you go.
True, it is true.
Oh,
Not
I
naked
thought you meant
breath.
yourself. I'm like, I beg to differ.
Oh, I'm
So,
probably pushing C cups here at this point.
Melky Jack Campisi Cabrera.
The milkman is in the house.
That's a good one. Good old Melky
What,
Cabrera.
Cabrera as in the Detroit Tiger guy?
the New York Yankee Milky Cabrera. The milkman.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, what's his name? Miguel
Miguel Cabrera, yeah.
from Detroit. I don't even know if he plays for the Tigers anymore, but
I
yeah.
think
Anyway.
he's retired.
Hunter got murder Shay.
Got murder. It was so
And-
hard to come up with a name tonight. I had like a
And
thousand
myself-
choices.
Frankenberry, which I was actually Frankenberry in, I think it was 1975. I had I got pictures and everything. It was one of those cheap costumes.
I
that
would
you-
love to see that.
Yeah.
Was it the
It's
box
great.
one where you got the smock and then you got the
Oh yeah,
plastic net?
the pink smock and then the mask that you cover and spit by the time you're done. Yeah.
I
That was
love
like
those
always a Count
costumes.
Chocula guy.
I was a Frankenberry.
I like Booberry. But I like Frankenberry too. So
Jason.
Jason,
I don't remember having a preference. I think I just liked them all.
he's probably a yummy mummy guy.
I thought you were going to say we only had homemade cereal in the mountains.
Mucilex.
All right, let's hear some announcements. I know a couple of you guys got some announcements.
There's a book coming out. It's an anthology called Fear of Clowns. It just dropped today. I'm in that along with Adam Caesar, Mr. Clown in the cornfield himself, Tim Wagner, Jonathan Jans, a lot of folks. So I'm going to see. Let me see if I can present. I love this button, present. I feel like an orangutan looking for a mate. Share screen.
Careful.
I know. This is terrifying.
Get the right tab.
Anything can go wrong. Oh, I can't find it. Damn it. All right, never mind.
Who edited that?
Oh my God, Ken Kane, I believe.
I got no invite. Thanks, Ken.
I don't maybe blame him. I have a fever and I can't really call things like I should. But yeah, and I'll be appearing at Brian Keene's Vortex Comics bookstore and comics, I think it's called, the last Saturday of September with a few people that are in the anthology, and Laurel Hightower will be there promoting one of her books.
Cool.
Oh, very
So,
nice.
Better
Have
get some
fun.
whiskey.
All right, Jack, you got something?
No, I don't.
No? Oh, we're not talking about that
No.
top secret thing? Okay.
It's a raging case of crabs.
Jason.
Nope, I don't think we have anything special coming up.
Jason's
for a
got
couple
some
weeks here.
pumpkins going on behind him.
Yeah,
If you
nice
go to
pumpkins.
if you go to Jason's Patreon, you
carved
can
that.
help. You can help him with his poll that he's got going on with the Steven Seagal bingo.
Hey, you, hey. That's not.
I'm trying to get you
No,
patrons.
that's just for Patreon.
Yeah, well, sign
All
up
right.
and you can vote.
Yeah.
Sign up for the top secret thing.
So you carved those, you and the missus?
Yeah, it's a foam pumpkin. She carved that one. I carved that one, and we have
Can't
2
tell
or
what
3
they
more
are.
we carved.
You guys are good.
I mean, you print out templates.
It
tape
doesn't
on,
matter.
and it's time consuming, but it's totally worth it because they look great.
You should come up to Terrytown. They do the Great Pumpkin. I forget what the hell I call it.
Oh, the
and
blaze,
there's
pumpkin blaze.
pumpkin blaze, and there are thousands of those foam carved pumpkin. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
nuts.
All right. So how about some drinking words? Somebody wanted to read the drinking words Sheridan
I'll
has
do it.
hopefully posted?
I'll do it. All right. Take a drink if you hear any of us say these words. If Jack says twist, birthday, or minutes. If Hunter says 7, person, or prank. If I say hate, budget, or footage. If Lutsky says first, found, or YouTube. Or if any of us say the bonus words dye, milk, or mask. And he has little scuba shit as the emojis.
You know, this movie inspired me because I don't drink milk. I really can't stand milk because I was forced to drink it growing up.
Same.
It was just a chore.
I'm not a
But
milk guy.
Actually bought like a thing of chocolate milk Sunday. I think because it was in my head and I enjoyed it.
I drink a ton of milk, and I started drinking. I started drinking a lot of milk when I quit drinking, and I was in rehab, and they had milk, and I drink it constantly, and I still drink tons of milk.
Straight from the
Keeps me
teeth.
And you live like in the cereal capital of the world too, right? So
He does, yeah.
I mean, milk's
I
got
do.
to be part of your life. Because
Sure.
for me, milk is with the cereal or in coffee or in a milkshake.
Oh, I love it, man. All right, let's hear some news from Jack Campese.
It's the news. Yay.
All right, I got something I think everybody here is going to be happy.
Underwater.
Yeah,
Still underwater?
Now you're
little.
You know, we should try something. Do you guys have the noise cancellation turned on in StreamYard? I wonder if that. Just check
I don't
after
know.
the show.
Because Jack and I did a StreamYard with somebody last night for an hour and a half with no audio issues. They're sabotaging the show. It's like shadow banning.
Listen, all y'all, it's sabotage.
They're after us.
Anywho, well, I think. Wait, am I?
You're
Yes.
muted now.
Yes,
Yeah.
There you go. So, I figured that out. StreamYard, when I would click to switch it to this mic, wouldn't keep the connection. It would say it kept it, but then it wouldn't. I had to go into the settings and do that, and my computer settings. StreamYard. Anyway, everybody here is a fan of the movie Creep, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Creep 2.
Both creeps.
Mm-hmm.
Duplass has said that he was going to do a Creep 3.
Yeah.
Well, turns out instead of a third movie, there's going to be a series on Shudder this November called The Creep Tapes.
Really?
Okay.
That could be cool.
Has Shudder ever had a fiction series?
That they've produced?
That's
I don't
a
know.
very good
I mean,
question.
I know they've had like nonfiction stuff or whatever, like specials.
Yeah.
I mean, they have fiction series on there, but I don't know if they produced them or not. Like Dead Wax was one we watched on there. Yeah, I've seen.
yeah.
some.
It's
I don't
stuff
know.
that
I don't know if
What?
this is produced by Shudder or just on Shudder, but it's November 15th and 6 episodes. And Duplass is returning as Joseph. So
they- Oh, my God.
I'm
Tubby
psyched.
time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm going to watch it with my Peach Fuzz mask on in the tub. It'll be so awesome.
Do we get more Duplass Wang in this one?
Can only hope.
Question: Will Shudder release the Wang?
I'm a huge Mark Duplass movie. I love the Creep movies, but they're probably some of my least favorite of his stuff because he does some like what do they call it, mumblecore or whatever you guys call it.
Yeah.
Movies that I'm a big fan of, and I've seen him speak at a couple like seminar stuff, and he got me all hyped up to do some because he's done some like sketchy stuff to get popular in the not get popular, get movies made, gets his stuff seen. So I'm thinking he's talking directly to me, so I track down his home address and I send him a bunch of my books, just like cold called him,
Yeah.
and never heard from him. So somewhere in some landfill in Los Angeles
I'd have burned
Or,
those fuckers.
are a couple of my books. But I mean, he was like everything that he said in this thing. He was basically like, do this kind of stuff if you want to. I did this and this, so I was like, okay, I will do that.
I mean, I think when you have the layout, this is how you get famous in entertainment. Get 1,000 bottles of lube, and then work your way from there.
The Diddy method.
By the way, my classmate. Big props to Mount St. Michael in the Bronx. Pride and joy.
Hold on. We got to interrupt the news for a second.
Yes.
Breaking news about the sponsor of this week's news. This week's sponsor is Johnny Recaps, the YouTube show that's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you want to know why?
No.
Because on his recent video about
Oh yeah.
Beetlejuice, huge Final Guys shout out. I'm watching it, and suddenly, bam, there's us. Not just mentioned, but shown.
Yeah.
Therefore, earning him a plaque.
Oh, Jesus.
BFF.
The BFF.
Very cool.
Johnny Recaps gets a hand carved BFF. There's the logo.
Oh my gosh.
Johnny Recaps, well done, my friend.
This is bigger than Joe Bob's bolo tie. This is
That's great.
maybe the finest award in horror.
Wow.
Hilarious.
That is handmade beauty if I've ever seen it.
This
Yes.
is good stuff.
Glad to see you have time to make these things.
That takes a lot of time.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of effort.
Pulled an all-nighter for that.
That's so
The
funny.
calligraphy. So, Johnny Recaps.
Just perfectly embossed.
Yeah.
YouTube and just look up Johnny Recaps and watch it. And great way to not, if you don't want to see a movie, he'll tell you everything that happened.
That's right.
Oh, that's so funny.
Now back to the news. So, you guys ever see that Dahmer show, Monster, that was on Netflix?
Yeah.
Monster?
Yeah, so the Jeffrey Dahmer with the kid from American Horror Story, and he played Quicksilver, and
Yeah, was it called Monster? Was it called Monster?
yeah.
Monster in my
Yeah, I did
pants.
see
You
the
want to know
series.
why? Because like tonight or tomorrow, the second season of that called Monsters about the Menendez brothers is airing.
No.
But that's not the season 2 is not the story. Season 3 is the story. Wasn't it just like last week we were talking about Ed Gein?
Yeah, because I saw that
Yeah.
those deranged movies.
Yeah,
Well, season 3 of Monster is going to be about Ed Gein, and Charlie Hunnam is going to play Ed. He's the dude from Sons of Anarchy and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Pacific Rim.
That's
Huh.
That's a weird choice.
Have they ever done a show or movie about Ed Gein? I feel like that's
I don't think
untapped.
I think that's untapped.
Yeah.
Finally, we're finally going to get something about Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
Jesus.
million inspired by, but there has to be at least one where the killer was named Ed Gein.
Is there anything even inspired by him? I just,
Texas
don't think
Chainsaw
so.
Massacre,
This will
Psycho.
be wholly original.
Hunter's
Yeah.
Hunter's
Yeah.
missing the joke here.
It's
Yeah, I
I
think
got
he
the
is.
joke. I got the joke. It just felt like not everybody is in the club. Oh,
Hunters.
I got the bell. God damn it.
No, guys. What
COVID
about
Hunter.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Okay.
I do not see him as he's a good-looking dude. I don't see him as a 55-year-old redneck.
Anything can happen.
It's Hollywood, baby. That's what makeup's for.
Ah, Maddie 5000 said there was a movie called Ed Gein,
Yeah.
There was.
Okay. So,
Which I turned off because it was horrible.
starring Hervé Villachez.
I guess my sarcasm wasn't thick enough.
No, but I thought it was an actual. I don't remember seeing ever an Ed Gein movie. Look,
There's
I've
like
got
a million of
I'm
them.
gonna.
Yeah.
I'm using the fever clause for this entire show.
Okay.
The show's a fever dream.
You do get an out. I mean, look, when I had a fever and did the show, I streamed this on the wrong channel. So you can
I didn't-
ignore sarcasm all you want.
I didn't realize that the Dahmer thing was a part of a series that they were going to do with different serial killers.
It's the serial killer multiverse.
By the way, you
Yeah,
said
I
you
mean,
got
the Dahmer-
monsters. What would 3 be? Monsters is.
The Dahmer one was incredible, and one of the best uses of music, that Casey and the Sunshine band song that they use when he's cuddling with that mannequin?
I could do that right now.
Far better recall on that show than I
Nah, I
do.
remember
And I have
nothing.
high
It's
five.
freaking great.
I have high five KC from KC the Sunshine Band. So
I finished the band.
Oh man.
Okay.
our last,
All right.
our last piece of news.
You got the plaster caster.
Our last piece of news is the dearly departed Shelley Duvall's final movie is Forest Hills, some kind of werewolf movie. The trailer just hit for it. She, of course, passed away in July at the age of 75. So if you want to see the trailer for the movie Forest Hills, you can look it up. Just to let you know who is in this movie besides her: Edward Furlong, Dee Wallace, and Felissa Rose.
Oh, there you go.
I saw this trailer a year ago. I thought we all did.
Nope, it just dropped. So
Doesn't ring a bell to me.
Yeah, I saw it.
I saw a trailer
It looked
for this
bad.
a couple of months
Yeah.
ago.
Felissa
Yes.
Rose has never been in a bad movie. I refuse to listen to this.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it has
Amen.
the Mount Rushmore of acting in that movie.
The nicest lady you'll ever meet.
The best.
I mean, she's literal positivity and light.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing.
You could go in there with a chainsaw to kill people, and you'd leave smiling after talking to her.
Yep. And pick her some flowers.
Okay. Is that all the news that's
That
fit
is
to
all
print?
news fit to print.
All right, thanks, Jack.
And thanks to Johnny.
Yes, thank you.
Show that
John.
award again, Jack. Just in case people forget what it looks like.
It's just
BFF.
Amazing.
BFF. BFF.
It's gonna be his next tattoo.
Oh, you're losing it.
Remember, Colin is the MVP. Johnny is the BFF.
Yeah.
See, these are individualized awards.
Yeah.
You know, it's not one of three. It's one of one, baby.
Every Oscar looks the same. This is special stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Barrio.
Oh, the SBIG sponsor says, has anyone seen Piercing 2018? Same guy that made Eyes of My Mother.
I've seen neither.
I saw Eyes of My Mother. There's a nice upbeat movie.
That's a
Oh my
dark
God.
movie, man. I don't know that I've even heard of Piercing,
No.
but is it
I don't
is
think
it
I've
the
seen
same feel good movie as Eyes of My Mother is?
I saw a lot of girls get pierced at the tattoo parlor on Friday the 13th. But did not see the movie.
Piercing. I will add that to the list.
Psychological horror.
All right. Thank you,
So-
Joshua.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
So we're done with the news.
We are.
So you want me to go to curation? Okay.
We have such sights to show you.
All right, Jason. Other than playing bingo over on your Patreon
Dude,
page,
stop.
what have you been doing this past week?
God damn it. What the hell did I watch? I did get a movie in that ended up being a kid's movie, but I didn't know that. But it's solid starter horror. Have any of you guys seen Curse of Crom? Came out in
Is this a Conan movie?
2022. That's what I was expecting. It's I would say maybe a little older than like Are You Afraid of the Dark Age? So you're talking it's supposed to be high school, but there's no swearing. There's no like nobody's
Boobs.
smoking or drinking or boobs or anything like that. So it's the kids are older, but I would say the audience is more for like I don't know, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds. But it's a really well made independent film. I shouldn't say independent, low budget film. It looks phenomenal, and
Poster's
it's
nice.
yeah, the poster is great. Its pacing is actually pretty nice. Like I enjoyed it. It's not something I would have watched on my own had I known this was
Sure.
a kids movie. Boy, they have several nice posters. Holy shit! Wow. Okay.
Where the
well,
budget went.
they doubled the budget for the posters. This is the story of a high school girl who is basically doing Uber Eats around her neighborhood to get money for college, and This guy across the street keeps ordering Chinese food and telling her to leave it on the stoop open, and he never tips her. So she's getting pissed off. She yells at him one day, and the next day she finds out he died that night. And she starts seeing things in the backyard, like a cloaked figure, and she starts trying to unravel the mystery of what the hell is going on here. So it kind of has almost that Goosebumps vibe to it a little bit, but more adult than that. And it turns out it's the Curse of Crom.
Look at that mask.
Some kind of Irish curse. The monster's not in the movie much because it is a mask with a hood on it. But they do a pretty good job not lighting it. You know, it's this is honestly a solid film. If you have kids who are 10, 11, 12, you're trying to get into horror, or nieces or nephews or something, this is really, really good starter horror. The only thing is, you can't really see. This girl here is into the main male character, but he's interested in the other girl, the main girl, and this girl's gorgeous, and she's all over him, and he's like, no. I'm like, this is fiction. If this dude is 17 and a girl who looks like a supermodel is climbing all over him, there's nothing that could stop him from securing that deal.
I would have thrown my entire family in a deep pit when I was 17 for a girl like that.
He would have sacrificed all his other friends to Crom in order to be with this girl.
Come and get it, Crom.
So the whole time she's like hitting on him, he's like, no. I'm like, get the fuck out.
I was ready at 12. I would have sealed the deal at 12.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. So
It's
my only real complaint. But.
Quick interruption. Johnny Recaps is thanking us for the.
Oh, yeah, he said, what? So, yeah, Johnny, there's your award.
In 3D.
Woo! 3D theater. Congratulations.
So anyway, this is a fun movie. You know, if you're an old bastard like us, sitting by yourself looking for a horror movie, probably not what I would put on.
Yeah.
But solid. It is a solid movie.
So if you find a kid wandering around, take them in. Watch
that artwork is great, man. The first poster. I've seen that guy's art around, man, and it's good.
Yeah, the poster art is phenomenal.
I think he's done a couple book covers too. There's some horror artists.
I'm guessing he's not cheap because that is.
I would imagine not. Yeah. Very good. Cool. What you got, Jack?
Last week was Friday the 13th, and I know at least two of you have been on me a little bit to give Friday the 13th 5 a new beginning, another chance.
That's
right.
right.
I mean, one of us has been on you.
That's right.
I mean, really.
Now, Hunter has.
I say it's better than age is better.
Look, there are two fantastic, enormous reasons to watch Part 5.
Let's not get ahead
There's
of
more than that.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves because I'm definitely going to bring up that.
Those.
Thems.
I saw this in the theater once and was like, screw that movie. And now part of the reason I've never watched it again is because unlike most of the other Friday the 13th movies, I would encounter the other ones on cable. I never really came across this one. Whereas like It Takes Manhattan, I've only really seen like once or twice.
Underwater.
Yeah. But I think there might be a reason. The fifth one is like extra dirty. Like even by Friday the 13th standards.
Yes.
Well, that was directed by a porn director, right?
Yeah,
I
it
think
was.
the guy was. Yeah.
I think it's the guy who did Death Wish 3, if I'm remembering correctly, which is also a filthy film.
I forgot because it's been like 30 years. I mean, I remembered certain beats of this movie, but a lot of it was like, oh yeah, like the whole thing. Like there's a scene at the diner with the guy with cocaine, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. So it was fun to go back and watch. Corey Feldman's into the beginning, and then it's grown up Tommy Jarvis, and I'll say this: I still am not a fan of this movie, but having 30 years and watching a lot of 90s slasher movies, and then going back to and even later Friday the 13th movies, and going, okay, there's some good kills in this.
Oh, that guy just passed away.
And there's some boobs in this, which once you get to like, the 2000s, suddenly, like I was watching this going, oh, that's right. Slasher movies used to be a blast, and they're not anymore. So the things that really bug me are the end and from Friday the 13th, comparing it to some of the other ones, it's just not as It's
But
not
then
up
you
to
can
the
watch
talent.
Jason Goes to Hell and Jason Takes Manhattan and go, oh, this movie's much
Why is it?
better than I
Why is
thought.
it showing part 4?
It's all part
four,
four
I
I don't know.
pictures.
Yeah, what the hell? Did I not pick the right one?
No, you didn't.
God damn it.
You have a fever too?
I don't. I'm just stupid.
They do
There's-
some stuff in this movie where they're trying to set up Tommy Jarvis as being the next Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who plays Tommy Jarvis, I didn't like. And I remember when I was watching it, not crazy about the choices they made with that whole thing.
But do you
If-
have a
if
better
you-
opinion of it now?
I do have a better opinion of it because I thought the kills were good. There was some really funny. There's a bathroom kill that's pretty funny. There's boobs. So
I think calling them boobs is probably understating what those things are.
Also, the woman, man, the woman who makes the soup, who has the son on the motorcycle.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
funny.
The chick with the shotgun. I love her, man. She's so funny.
and then the
all
final
kinds of
girl,
awesome.
the final girl is running in her white blouse in the rain.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was like you're definitely right. That was a porn director shot
Yep.
this movie.
So I don't hate this movie. I just think of the first 6, it's the worst one of the first 6. It's still
By
like
far.
fine. It's it's a solid watch, but I think it's the worst one. Now after that, the series falls off a goddamn cliff.
Yeah, and that's where I came to appreciate it. I was just like, okay, well, there was worse things. I gotta say though, I have a special place for Jason Goes to Hell because I just think that movie's so funny. So
That movie's terrible.
It's-
I watched Jason X on Friday the 13th. That's such a fun movie.
I like
When
Jason X.
Jason X
a
is
lot.
fun.
Oh
Great
yeah, I can't
kills.
stand that one at all. It's got one of the best kills in the whole series, but I can't stand that movie.
Uber Jason, bring it on, baby.
Yeah, that
No,
Jason's
that-
killer.
That chick doing the karate and all that stuff is just
The
stupid.
robot Jason versus Cyborg Jason versus an android.
No.
Come on.
Love
No,
it.
that's bad.
A lot of these though, franchise movies like the Halloween movies, I watched a lot of those later ones once, and then I might see like 5 minutes of it on the Halloween marathon on Sci-Fi or something like that. I don't even think I saw H2O the whole way through. So there's one I gotta watch. Like I just lost interest, and
That's because those suck.
yeah,
Those are bad movies.
the Nightmare
I
on Elm Streets. Watched the first one and the third one a million times, and then the rest of them like once or twice. Like
Because
Yeah.
they suck.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a Nightmare one that I haven't even seen yet.
Well, you got
And
time.
yeah,
the
a couple
remake.
of them no, I did see that. No, I say that with regret.
Yeah. So anyway, I got that out of the way. It was Friday the 13th. I was like, hey, I had a DVR'd actually, and I was like,
Good choice, man.
kind of.
Good choice. What about yourself, Hunter? Did you watch a Friday the 13th movie?
I watched Jason X 1 and 3. Some weird, just bouncing around.
Yeah.
I watched Jason X first. Then me and my daughters went out to get tattoos because Friday the 13th, a lot of tattoo parlors have like flash sales.
Mm-hmm.
Got a Creature from the Black Lagoon tat that I love. But I'm not going to talk about those movies because that's just part of Friday the 13th. It's just,
I didn't get to watch any this year. I hated it so much.
oh my God,
I know.
that's
It's
terrible.
awful.
So I watched this movie called The Resort, which at first I was like, oh, Bentley Little wrote a great book, The Resort. This wasn't it.
I
It's,
started this movie like 4 times, and every time I was like, nope.
It's 2023, I think, or 22, and it's 4 good-looking friends go to this Hawaiian island with an abandoned hotel, which was an actual abandoned hotel.
Wait, who's in this movie?
Oh God,
Is this the one you're talking about? Because there are multiple movies called The
I
Resort.
think let's see the people.
Has
yes.
a dude with real long hair.
Yep.
This guy?
He's like Jason Momoa,
Yeah.
big
Oh,
dude.
God.
I start within 5 minutes of them getting to the resort. Every time I shut it off. I'm just like, I don't have time for this.
It's well, it's something special. It's somebody out there is loving this kind of stuff because it's kind of like starter horror. By the way,
Hey.
the blonde girl is absolutely gorgeous.
That's a YouTuber. I don't remember her name.
Really?
Yeah. Star Wars something? Shit. Yeah, that's a YouTuber.
Huh. Well, these 4 people go to this island that supposedly the abandoned hotel is haunted, and guess
Comic
what?
Book Girl 19, sorry.
It is. and then
This
they
looks bad.
just get picked off one by one. I was
One
hoping.
by one. There's only 4 of them.
I know. That's the
Is that why the
incredible
movie's
thing.
an hour and 16 minutes?
Thankfully, it was quick. I thought there might be some nudity.
This guy.
This guy. My
This
wife was
guy.
happy. She liked this movie to a point.
That guy looks like Charlie Hunnam.
So yeah, I don't want to give anything away for all of you who want to see this relatively new movie. I mean, look, if you're trapped under something heavy and you can't get the remote and it's all that's on, I think it's not bad.
So you're
Look,
saying only watch
True.
this as a last resort?
Oh.
Exactly. Or if you're young. I
Oh.
think young people will actually enjoy this movie. There's some
Oh.
gore. That effect right
Okay.
there.
That
The
probably
last two
wasn't.
scenes looked cool.
There's a
Probably
scene
wasn't
where a
great.
guy pulls his face off and is talking. I was like, wow, that's actually not too bad.
Oh, see, I didn't get to any of that. I couldn't stand these people so much at the beginning. I was like, I'm not watching this.
I don't
Yeah.
know why I watched this. No idea. I think I just wanted to see what's new and just stick with it.
So the kills were okay?
The kills were not bad.
Okay. It's just
CGI
everything else.
was men's amends, but there's some practical effects that were pretty good.
Huh.
Dude,
Maybe I'll
don't-
just skip like the first half hour.
Yeah, catch the last 20 minutes. I think you'll see all you
Okay.
need. The
Okay.
Resort, Amazon Prime for you subscribers.
Awesome. I will not be watching that. I can tell with too many beautiful people for me to have any kind of interest at all.
I like beautiful people.
It's not grainy enough for Chad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want some white trash up in here.
he likes a dong that's covered in so much hair you can
Ew,
barely
okay.
see the tip.
So I watched a movie on Tubi called "The House That Would Not Die" from 1970. This stars Barbara Steinwick and
Stanwyck.
some
Barbara Stanwyck.
and some guy named Richard Egan, who I didn't know who he was, but he's super intimidating and creepy when he'd occasionally lose his mind and get ghost possessed, and totally perfect for the role. If only they'd done more with him, and he'd be great as like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer Part 2 or something like that, which I'm sure he's passed by now. But this also stars Kitty Wynn, who played Pacino's woman in Panic in Needle Park, and she also played the nanny in The Exorcist, the nanny or whatever.
Oh,
I
wow.
think she was a nanny. So Barbara Stanwyck and her niece inherit a giant old house and decide to move in. Super excited about it. They start dreaming at night. Wind blows while they dream, and they hear a voice outside. And then the next door neighbor invites himself over and gets very comfortable right away, very quickly, which is the Richard Egan guy. And then for no reason at all, they decide to have a seance, as you do. And that's when more wind blows and a few people start acting aggressively. Nothing really interesting happens. And then an hour and 13 minutes feels like 2 hours. And then the end comes. And after they discover the boring history of the house, I think this is made for TV, which in the 70s, most made for TV movies in the 70s were good. But not this one. The acting is fine, but the story was just lacking and is about as generic as you can get for a haunted house movie. No real like effects, nothing like creepy or anything. You guys, I'm just too jaded for this kind of thing, I guess, for like stuff that's done over and has been done over and over. Even at 1970, we should
I was
expect
going to
more
say,
than
this is like 50 years old.
Yeah, but still, there's probably someone out there who will appreciate it, but for me, even for me, it's too slow and too quiet. Nothing original here. So, if I were you, I'd go watch George C. Scott and The Changeling instead, because
It's a great movie.
that's a great.
By the way,
movie.
Barbara Stanwyck was a handsome woman. I think that's like her and B. Arthur, very handsome women.
You know, she's very old in this, and I thought, man, this is an attractive. Well, I'm not really familiar with her, but I was watching her and I was like, man, if I was 70 years old, yeah,
By the way, you're almost there.
I'd take that.
She is in a movie called The Night Nurse in like 1930. You have to see that movie because that's got implied lesbians and murdering kids.
Implied lesbian.
Implied.
Yeah, I mean, she changes a lot in front of her nurse friend, and you know, They're getting it on somewhere.
There's tension.
I mean, it's
there, is what you're
1930.
saying.
She was on The
Yeah.
Big Valley, which is a Western TV show back in like the 60s.
Yes. Wasn't she on Falcon Crest too?
Oh, probably.
I don't know. But we're going down a Barbara Stanwyck
Yeah.
rabbit hole. This is bizarre.
6
But yeah.
Degrees of Stanwyck.
See The Night Nurse. I'm just telling you all. The Night Nurse is a must-see movie.
Well, if you do want to watch The House That Would Not Die from 1970, it is on Tubi. So there you go. Jason, what else do you got?
You'll be surprised to learn I read a book.
All right.
My year continues.
Back on track.
I read Dead End Tunnel. Can you guys see this on my Kindle?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Right there. Boom. Don't
Can't
move.
tell what the picture is.
Look at that.
Oh, bicycle.
Oh, yeah, it's
okay.
a little blurry there, but good enough.
And a hand coming out of the dark.
Dead End Tunnel by Nick Roberts. It's a novella. I think it was on the longer side for a novella. About some kids in a town who, for one of their birthdays, decides to sneak out of the house at night and take a long bike ride to the nearest 7-Eleven to try to buy beer from a cashier they know will probably hook them up. And when they're going through the tunnel to get there, one of them disappears. Is just gone. Like they're riding through and then he's gone. And then later that night, after the police are notified and all kinds of craziness happens about the disappearance, the kid comes back and he's all screwed up. And he's trying to get his friend to go into the tunnel with him. And from there, this gets crazy. It gets into kind of Lovecraftian horror and some pretty crazy kills. It's a solid book.
It sounds cool, man.
Yeah, it's a really solid book. I've never read them. I just went on Amazon and typed in, I think, horror novella or something like that to see what was up. And it was like, oh, this reviewed well, and I bought it. And this is good shit, man. I will be reading more of Nick Roberts for sure. Really
Nice.
dope.
I don't think I've read him before.
I don't
sounds
know
cool.
if I've heard his name, but he's a really good writer. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm on this horror novella kick right now. I'm digging the hell out of it, so I can bang through these books in a week.
There's a lot out there. Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Awesome. Thanks for the rec. Jack, what do you got, man?
I watched a 2024 movie called Dead Sea, which is about these two girls who meet up with this one girl's boyfriend and her friend to connect her friend with the other guy. And I forget exactly. They're like in Florida and they go like to some of the islands that are like really far away and they take jet skis there. Like I was like, you're going that far in a jet ski? But anyway, then on their way back, there's an accident and they get stranded at sea. And then eventually they get picked up by a fishing boat. But they may have been better off in the water than in the boat with this guy because he's up to no good. So this is a really low budget, kind of like if this was the video store, this would be straight to video kind of independent film. It's okay. The thing that makes it most noteworthy is Dean Cameron is in this movie. Who saw him, was like, who is this guy? I know who this is. If you ever saw the movie Summer School, this guy was Chainsaw.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
So it's like, oh damn, it's been a blast
horror
from the
kids.
past. The lead girl is like very pretty. And basically it's kind of a cat and mouse thing. I felt like if this movie really could have used like another set of eyes on it to go, it could really make this a little more tension here, a little more action here. This is a little bit silly. Like they needed like a consultant to come in and give it some emerald bam. So it's just okay, but it was like I said, if you went to Blockbuster one night and just grabbed it, saw it, watch it, it gets you through the night, and then you move on to the next one.
All right.
And would you? So, in other words, maybe watch Dead Calm instead of Dead Sea.
Yeah,
for your boat thriller.
I love that movie so much. Dead Calm.
Yeah, it is excellent.
Awesome. All right, Hunter, you're next.
All
bud.
right. I went for another new one. This was also on Amazon Prime. This, I get to thank my wife for picking it out. She says, let's see this movie, Mom. M.O.Mom, Mothers of Monsters.
I saw that
Uh,
movie.
It's a found footage movie about a single mom raising a raging asshole of a 16 or 17-year-old son. And she thinks that he's going to shoot up the school at one point because he's a sociopath, because she could tell. I mean, he could turn it on and off. So when he's with his classmates, he's a straight A student. He has friends at school. He's atypical school shooter. But when he's around her, she sees the real him. And what she does, she's trying to prove that he's nuts. So she's installed all these hidden cameras inside their house. And you watch typical teenage rage going on, but then you see things that are kind of really over the top. But then you also think, is she really exaggerating? Because she has a past with a brother who was kind of off kilter. Biggest surprise of this movie, Ed Asner shows up. Must be his last movie. But he's on Skype as her therapist for about 2 minutes. But that was cool. But I got to tell you, this movie held our attention, complete attention, from start to finish. I was like, the acting, especially the mom, is so good for a found footage movie that came out of nowhere. Really? And the kid was okay, but there are parts of him that I've seen in kids. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I might put a camera on him, which I've thought of doing some people I know. So it's a really good movie. It's tense, and then it gets kind of brutal in the end, and had a very good ending. So for a found footage movie on Amazon Prime, man, that was a nice surprise. What did you think of it, Jack?
I saw it like 2 years ago, so I'm kind of, when you said Ed Asner, I'm like, oh, that's right. I think I thought this was pretty good. I'm now remembering what happened, because it gets really good at the end, doesn't it?
Very. And they made the logic of why everything's being filmed. So you weren't questioning, why is it doing this right now? You knew why. And I believe Ed Asner dated Barbara Stanwyck at one point.
It all is a circle.
Yep.
The chat can't get enough of Barbara Stanwyck.
And they had a baby and named it Kevin Bacon. So yeah, this sounds like one of those movies that I'm surprised were made. Like, what's another one? Like, We Need to Talk About Kevin. Isn't that the one with the?
It's in that same kind of universe.
And then there's another indie one called Elephant that I was shocked was made. Is anybody in the chat? I don't think you guys have seen anybody.
I've tried to see Elephant and I have not gotten around to it.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore. It's almost just like a fictionalized account of Columbine.
I mean,
but
you're allowed to make things.
Yeah. But these days they're trying to censor everything, so it surprises me.
We're fighting that. Let's deal with it.
But it's always good to hear about another good found footage movie.
Chad, I even think you'd like this one.
Yeah, it sounds like something I like.
And she really looks like a mom, and he really looks like a scumbag teenager.
Yeah.
So
give me that white trash.
And Ed Asner looks like a man who is punching his ticket.
All right. So we talked about me watching The House That Would Not Die, and I watched The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
Oh, me and my dad loved that movie.
You can catch this on YouTube and on Tubi. This is from 1962, but it was filmed in 1959, which makes sense because that was around the time, 50s were loaded with the mad scientist stuff. And that's exactly what this is. But I've been wanting to see this movie for 50 years because when I was between the ages of 4 and 7, I saw a clip of this movie at the very end. It must have been on or something. and I saw a clip, and it left a very lasting impression on me. And other than probably Curse of the Fly, which I've been trying to get you guys to see, which one of the greatest body horror movies and the best Fly movie, other than the remake, that has come out.
I'm saving that for October, by the way.
This made me a fan of body horror. This and Curse of the Fly, especially. But a scientist fascinated, that guy right there, and his dad right there. A scientist fascinated with organ transplant takes his fiancee to his cabin in the country where he does experiments in secret. She doesn't even know about it. But as they're on the way there, for whatever reason, he's driving super reckless and speeds on this winding road that he's very familiar with, runs a stop sign, and crashes the car. He's thrown from the car. She's decapitated. So he takes her head and back to the cabin where he brings it back to life. She's miserable, of course. In the meantime, he spends the rest of the movie looking for the perfect female body to attach to her so they can be together. And
the perfect body.
It's funny because I've seen a lot of movies where, especially in the last couple of years, I think Mardi Gras Massacre was one of them, where a lot of the movie is spent in like swanky clubs with dancers and stuff like this. But this makes sense to have those scenes in there. To have the dancing girls and a nude model. There's a girl in here that's like, I think she was nude. My wife and I were both like, is she naked? But you couldn't really see her nipples. But yeah, man, she was like, and this is like 59. So I don't know.
Maybe she had no nipples.
Like the chick in Jason X.
I knew a girl who really didn't have any.
So in the meantime, this girl, her head is in the basement in this pan. And I guess her name's Jan. So people affectionately call her Jan the Pan when they're talking about this movie, which I think is funny. And she's pissed off and starts talking to a hideous mutation that's inside a closet. That this mutation is a Frankenstein creature created by the doctor. But something happens with his fiance, and she's now able to somehow telekinetically transfer some kind of super strength power to the creature that's in behind this door, so that they can get maybe revenge on the doctor. This is a great B movie, perfect concept for one. It feels very much like a Corman movie, but it isn't. Little bit of interesting trivia. I read apparently the lead actress who plays the fiance donated her body to science when she passed away like 5 years ago.
But not the head.
Really?
I know. My body. I showed up at the morgue and was like, "Hello, I'm science here to pick up my body."
But if you're looking for something older and fun, maybe a little slow, it is 90 minutes.
Something older and fun. You got it right here.
Yeah, buddy.
That is good, Jack. Okay, so yeah, 90 minutes for a movie made in 1959. Feels like maybe a little bit long, but you can find it on YouTube and on Tubi.
This is a movie that my dad and I watched anytime it was on TV, because he would study TV Guide. And you get his TV Guide just there with his pen.
Hunter, did this inspire The Man with Two Brains?
It might have.
Just looking at the pictures, I feel like it's got a vibe like that.
Yeah, now I need to do a deep dive. This is my sweet spot.
All right, so is everybody tapped out? You got more, Jason?
I'm done.
Jack, Hunter?
No.
All right,
I need
Tylenol. Let's pour that cereal. Let's pour that milk.
I wasn't ready here. Okay, here we go.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Jackie had a jingle.
Milk and cereal. Milk and cereal.
And milk. Cereal and milk.
Cereal and milk.
Cereal and milk.
I keep them for myself. I keep them for myself.
Who wants to talk about?
Pops, cuckoo.
Throw out the premise for.
This is about a bunch of YouTuber prank guys. I think their show's called So Bad It's Good. Dave and Jason.
This is better produced than our show.
And Milk is one of the main characters because he drinks a lot of milk. He's our Chad, really.
Yeah, now that we know.
He's
And,
even paler than me too.
He was I thought if Hitler was alive and saw this movie, he'd be like, perfection. This is what I was going for. He looks like the ultimate Hitler youth born from eugenics.
Yeah.
So they do a prank for Milk's birthday, which starts a cycle of pranks that leads to trouble. I think that's the least. I don't want to say too much more than that. Found footage movie made for $800.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, $800?
Basically, I think it was all their friends made. There's back in the magic days when you're in your 20s and everybody had time to make a movie. But I think they paid one of the actors. I think that's where a lot of the budget went.
Yeah, that's not very much considering Blair Witch. When did Blair Witch came out? 1999. That was that 15 grand or 25 grand for that? I think it was like 15,000 for that.
I think it was more than that.
But it probably went into the website, to the Curse of the Blair Witch documentary, and all that kind of stuff.
They had a 16 millimeter camera. I mean,
yeah.
It's easier when it's on your own YouTube channel. You don't pay yourself till the video comes out.
Yeah.
But good for them. I mean, that's pretty amazing what they pulled off.
All right. So, Jason, what did you think of Milk and Cereal?
I already did a small review for this, but I liked it a lot. I thought they did a good job with it. Them being YouTubers explains a lot. I think the name it's a good title because of the play on words, but at the same time, it also gives it away before you even start the movie. Like, you kind of know what's coming. Yeah. And as soon as the clues start, you're not wondering if it's going to happen. You're like, oh, hence the title. So, but I mean, for what they did, and I guess they're comedians who occasionally will do short horror films from the looks of it. I thought they did a phenomenal job. Like, these guys must love horror. So I dug it, man. If there was more shit like this on YouTube, I'd spend a lot less money on movies.
True. Well, you don't have to spend any money on movies. Just pick one from your pile, from the archives.
Well, for this show, I will spend money on movies.
Those. You'll never get around to all the movies anyway. If you live to 1,000 at this point.
I need 3,500. We're fine.
Yeah, a mere.
All right, Jackie, what do you think
I
of
can't
Milk
wait till you die
Cereal?
and we just come over and throw it all away.
I thought this was really good. I thought, especially, you see so many low budget movies or homemade movies and things, especially found footage. This does not go down the typical problematic roads that a lot of found footage movies do. You're never questioning why the camera's on. It's 80 minutes long, so it's not overstaying its welcome. There's not a huge, 20 minutes at the beginning to set up all the lore and make something happen at the beginning that then, they revisit at the end. You go, oh, that's right. The guy at the beginning said that. So that's why that matter. This is a totally different found footage movie. So I thought it was really clever. It made me, feel like, man, kids who are that age right now with YouTube and the cameras they have, what a great time to be, into making movies right now. It's amazing. So I had a good time with it.
Great. What about you, Hunter?
I liked it. Perfect length, an hour and 2 minutes. That was great. Yeah. What I appreciated most, I like the fact that everything, the video wasn't this crisp, super clear video. Because I think, we all grew up, the dirtier and grimier, the better. So it just gives a better vibe. I think the acting, Michael Clark beat me to it in the chat. The acting in this was what blew me away. Because Milk is really good. The guy who plays Milk, and he's nuts. Nuts looking, nuts acting. His friend Seven is really good. Right.
He is the writer and director as well.
Well, tip of the cap to him, because what he pulled off, a lot of studios can't figure it out. So I liked it. It was pretty good, especially for a YouTube movie.
Pretty smart of them. Put this thing out free on YouTube, and this thing is getting reviewed like new releases from big studios right now. They're really getting a lot of press on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they spent no money on it, they're going to make a little bit back on YouTube, and then they'll get a shitload of subscribers. So, yeah.
It has almost 1 million views. How much money do you make off 1 million views?
I mean, it depends on the length. It depends on how many ads they put in, but a couple thousand. 5,
That's
6,
it?
7,000.
I can make more money knocking off some old lady on the street. What's the point?
Yeah, like you don't put that out on YouTube to make a shitload of money. That's going to be tough to do. But the attention they're getting from this is when like Blumhouse comes calling, you know,
Or A24.
Yeah, look at the guy who made Host and some of the other movies like that. They, it leads to bigger and better things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Johnny Recaps actually told me about it like maybe a month and a half ago when it very first came out. He said you should jump on this for Creepy Couch. We didn't jump on it right away, but I did eventually. There is a Creepy Couch episode up for this. But yeah, my wife and I really enjoyed it. And I do have 2 small things that have to do with something maybe kind of silly that I'm nitpicking, but that did pull me out a little bit. And I'll talk about it in spoilers. But great job by Curry Barker, the main dude, the writer and director, and by everybody, because I thought the acting was great too. And the storyline was very cool. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in another episode of Creepy Couch, we covered a short film called The Chair, which is super unsettling. And we did that. And that's also a Curry Barker movie. I like that short better than this one, just because it's not found footage, but it's really well done and it's really screwed up. Some of the stuff in there. And it's got a couple of the people from that in this, including the old man that looks like Neil Young.
And I've seen him before in TV shows. Or there's a doppelganger of him somewhere.
Is he the actor they
Yeah,
paid?
Neil Young. He's in both. He's in both The Chair and the actor that they end up going to the beach with or whatever.
Let me tell you, based on this movie, I'll watch The Chair in a hot second.
It's good. I liked it. It's very short, man. I think it's like 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
My God,
but it's got some random stuff. Then it's very like almost like David Lynchy. But
now I'm nervous. Yeah, now I get it.
I want to add, this movie had a couple of found footage moments where I was like, why are they recording? What's happening?
Yeah.
But as the story progresses, I thought most of those were answered. Once you find out more of the twists, whether you see them coming or not, it's like, oh, okay, that's why he was recording back then when it didn't make any sense because of what ends up happening. So I thought they did a pretty good job. Because every found footage movie, there are parts where you're like, how do we have footage of this? Like, how? And this had quite a few of those early on that I thought they did a good job explaining. So, well thought out.
You know, there are groups of people like the Jackass guys where I've often thought, what? I couldn't hang with people like this, you know, where you're just looking over your shoulder at any moment. You know, you could end up with a broken bone or a black eye or knocked out tooth or something. And so while watching this, there were a couple moments where I wasn't sure really who was pranking who, and is this a prank or is this, you know, is this really going, you know? So, and I like that because it made for, you know, you wanted to find out exactly what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be clear, you don't want to hang out with any influencer. They're douchebags.
Hey, I have a quick aside question. I got a quick aside question for you guys. I noticed that Sheridan Bradford is posting the drinking words and counting them. Do you think he yells them out loud when he does that? Butt edge! Butt edge!
I think he has a bell. I think he rings a bell.
Got a bell?
And he's got the
work right now.
clicker.
Ding, ding.
He yells them out because he uses Dragon Speak.
I think
and
he does
types it out for him.
I think he does it. I think it's like Ross and Friends with pivot.
I
think it's
Pivot.
butt edge.
Oh my Lord!
All right, that's my question. Go back to talking.
Should we get to spoilers? I don't know what else there is.
Yeah,
to
let's
talk
spoil
about.
it.
Yeah, I mean it's a free movie on YouTube that's 62 minutes long. You know,
I
easy.
will. Before I forget, I'll give my the two things that bothered me about this. My nitpicking things was Milk's name and Seven's name, because they're used for. I felt like these were two things that were really pushing it and shoehorned in for reasons that didn't need to be. Like, I felt like, and I could be totally wrong. So if Curry or friends ever see this, my apologies. But it felt like they had a cool play on words, and they're like, we'll name you Milk, and then we'll give an explanation why we call you Milk, so that we can call the film Milk and Cereal, and we'll spell cereal like a serial killer. So when they announced his name and they said twice why he's called Milk,
I have no problem with them doing that, to be honest with you.
I don't even remember it.
You know what? It reminds me, like when I was in
thought,
college, I created a fraternity and everyone had a nickname. And there were people I went to school with for maybe 2 years. This day do not know my name. If I see them, they go, "Yo, what's up, Yak?"
I have actually a really hilarious story about that for another time.
And the other one was Seven, and it coincided with how many people he had killed at the end. So there was the irony of this is the seventh person, and it was like, that just felt like another thing. It's like, hey, we'll name you Seven, and you'll be the seventh person we kill, and it'll be ironic.
Seven's the name that George Costanza thought would be a really good number for a name. 7.
Oh, that's right. Well, somebody already took that, so.
By the way,
those are my two things that just kind of bothered me.
By the way, speaking of Seinfeld, I was in a restaurant this weekend, and Paul O'Neill from the Yankees was in there.
Get out of here.
And I saw him. We made eye contact, and then I went to the other side, and I texted my friend who's a Yankee fan. I was like, "Hey, Paul O'Neill's here," and I had seen him years ago in Long Island at a John Mellencamp show, and he's like, "Does he recognize you from the Mellencamp show?" So then,
see the guy with the mustache that's on Seinfeld?
No, he's the one that when
Fernandez.
Kramer has the card for all the Yankees to sign, and then he with the kid in the hospital, he's like, "I told him Paul O'Neill would
hit a home run. Yeah,
like,
2 home runs. Yeah,
hitting home runs is hard. Why'd you say 2? Because I said, yeah, if I talk to him, I'm going to ask him about Seinfeld, not about baseball.
He cares about.
But then,
baseball.
as I was walking out, we had to get by. There was a narrow space, and so they made room and stuff. And he looked like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up?" Like that. I was like, "Hey, maybe he did recognize me." But like I said, it was like Seinfeld guy.
I remember the 90s, he lived right by you because he had a phone account with the phone company I worked for, and we just backtracked everyone's addresses. He was like literally right outside the office almost.
Anyway, Milk and Cereal.
It's an hour and 2 minutes, but then there's also a huge chunk that's showing stuff that's already been seen before. So it's not even like a full original hour and 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, but you
Don't
make it sound like.
bit.
Well, you're seeing it from the other perspective, so
there's a good reason for that. Yeah, like it's showing you. It's entertaining that when it's going back. It's not like
It's not filler.
It's not Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 or 3 or whatever the one.
I will not have you disparage Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 in my presence. That movie is cinematic genius.
Is it 3 that I'm talking about then? What's the one that's just
2 is a rehash
it's
of
2.
1.
It's 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Was 3 the one we had the brain in the
I think
jug on
so.
his head?
I haven't seen it.
That was great.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't have any problems with this movie, really.
I would recommend this movie.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend it.
It's free on YouTube. I mean, watch it.
We should
go support him.
I watched it a couple weeks ago. Were there a lot of ad pop-ups in it? I don't even remember.
I had
Yes.
I think 2 or 3.
I had like
4.
3. And I only remember because I had to edit it. And that's a pain in the butt to sync it up again.
For an hour-long video, that's nothing.
No, go look at any movie on Freevee.
No real complaints. I mean, I grew up watching commercials for 4 minutes every 12 minutes. So whatever.
I mean, YouTube packs them in there. I have to go in and delete like 10 to 20% of the ads they put in every video because it's like...
Oh, you can delete that? You have the power?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They advise you to just let them do it automatically because it works best. But I'm like, this is a lot of freaking ads, man. Like,
people are dropping out like flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Riveting ending to the show.
Good energy, guys. This is awesome.
Good show.
Go watch it. Go support Curry Barker and his buddies.
What's your favorite cereal to have? Like when it's just the bowl left with milk, like Apple Jacks
that's a good
or
question.
Fruity Pebbles.
Those are both
Cocoa.
good choices.
Count
Right there.
Chocula is good.
Life cereal's good.
Life.
Yeah, it's got a
Captain
little
Crunch.
cinnamon into that. It's good stuff.
I love Captain Crunch flavored milk. I did.
Maybe grape nuts because I eat grape nuts with honey. So that you got honey flavored milk in there.
You are so goddamn crunchy.
Grape nuts is such a old man answer. Jesus.
That's right.
It's cold and as clean as a whistle.
It's like a slip and slide back there.
If he had to go
I
for a
fell in love with
colonoscopy
grape
tomorrow,
nuts.
he doesn't even need prep. He's ready.
I fell in love with grape nuts at the age of probably 9, man. It's good stuff.
Oh.
Wasn't that your nickname in college, Hunter? Grape nuts.
Grape nuts. that time they turned purple. Yep, I remember.
All right, with that,
Do we have an idea what we might be watching?
I think we have to fight about that because when we
Yeah, let's fight.
I don't even know what's coming out.
the Demi Moore movie's coming out this week.
Okay.
Oh,
Just gotta see what their release is on that.
is that theatrical?
It's theatrical and it's
Supposed
like
to.
it's out like Thursday.
All right, we'll fight it out.
We'll fight it out.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, everybody in the chat, appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to stop by Jason's Patreon bingo game and check it out.
Stop.
So until next Tuesday.
It's going to be such a nice surprise.
Next week, when you see Tim Meyer in Chad's square, you'll know why.
One of the squares is fuck Chad. Weirdly, it didn't show up in the movie. Okay, sorry, get us out of here.
Chad.
I already
love
said
this.
the good nights.
Oh.
Hi, everybody.
Good night.
All right, bye.
Good night.